Greetings.
Hi, hi.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hi. It's so good to see all of our parents coming on for our spring roundup. It's wonderful.
Lots of familiar faces.
Yes, yes. I was thinking today as we were outside still trudging through the snow that maybe the spring roundup would help us melt all of our snow up here. And we'll truly think that it's spring and ready to go.
Let's hope. Send lots of warm thoughts.
We need lots of warm vibes up here for sure, everyone. Yes. We're going to wait a couple more minutes so we can get everyone entered and on to our Zoom call. And just as an FYI, we're glad that some of our campers are with us, but this is really going to be geared towards parents and in answering questions that parents may have about getting their children ready for camp. I think our biggest intent, and I'll probably say it again, is that we want our parents to be ready and everything like that. And prepared parents, just like all of you coming on and joining us today, is just wonderful because it shows that you're committed to being the best possible camp parent that you can be. So we're really happy to see all of you jumping on to our call this evening. We still see we're getting more people coming in. I think we had over 50 people registered for this evening, so we're going to give it a couple more minutes.
Up to 37, looking great.
Good. Well, I can tell you a little bit about what's happening up here. The deer are definitely out. We still have some very tall snowbanks. The ice is still on the lake, though it's getting where we could go canoeing and wading along the edges, which is always kind of fun in the spring with that. Lots and lots of birds are chirping. We can hear the geese. And so things are starting to come to life up here, which is exciting. We are anticipating our first school group arriving on this upcoming Wednesday, but have an alternative plan for them if we just can't make it with the weather. But we're gearing up for children coming in to join us this spring. So we're very excited about that.
Very excited to have other people around camp. Not that we don't all love each other, but.
I went to pick up something today and the person said, it's the winter that keeps on giving up here. And we just keep getting, I know this past weekend, many of you didn't get the snow, but we on that Friday to get the 4 inches. And it stayed with us. It didn't melt, and it's finally melting today. So that is always encouraging as well. Yeah.
Yes, slowly but surely. I love that, the winter that keeps on giving. It's a bit more positive.
Well, we have to be positive with things too, I think. Yeah. Well, Joe, do you think we should start? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to get started, and we want to do a couple introductions. Joe's going to share a PowerPoint that we put together. First of all, as I mentioned, this is for parents, and particularly for our first-time parents. Our true goal is to partner with all of you, prepared parents, and getting the language and camp language and everything down, answering your questions, all becomes extremely important as we progress forward with everything that we are doing. Of course, our mission is to partner with parents and to really help every single child that comes into camp to grow gain grit, to investigate, and to build their independence. With that, I'd like to introduce to you our winter team, those of us that are here year-round at Foley, in order that we can open in the spring. And as many of you know, my name is Marie Schmid. I'm the executive director. It has been in my family going way back with my parents, etc. And we're just so excited to have our 99th season. Allie Pharisee, who is another one of the directors, is currently at a meeting. We currently go out to become more educated, to help camps in the bigger picture of things, and to bring that knowledge back to Foley. And she is gone for a couple days doing that. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mary.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Mary Stevens, and I am the administrative assistant at Camp Foley, where I've been in that position since 2000. Some of my duties include answering the phone, helping parents register campers, following up on forms, and anything financial related with the campers. So if you have any questions about that, just be sure to let me know. I'm the person who handles that. Over the next several months, you will probably be seeing quite a few emails from me. And, you know, again, if you have any questions, I'm here to help. So welcome, everybody.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. I'm Allie, the other Allie, Allie Daly, and I am excited. I've Zoomed with a lot of you guys over the past couple of months too. I am the girls' assistant director here at Camp Foley, and I was a camper and a counselor beforehand, but this is actually my fourth year as an AD. I started in October of 2019, so it's exciting to kind of to see the different summers every single year. So I'm excited that we're all here and getting ready for 2023. 99, it seems like such a wild year. I remember celebrating the 85th and the 90th anniversary. So this is very exciting.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Joe. I'm the boys assistant director at camp, so Allie Daly's counterpart. And it's also been great meeting a lot of you on Zoom. This will also be my fourth summer as an assistant director, so very excited for that. I started a few months after Allie in April of 2020, so this will be summer number 4, but like third summer of actually having kids in camp, so excited for that. Yeah, and then I also get the pleasure of introducing Mike, who couldn't make it tonight, but he's in charge of our facilities and grounds and maintenance of everything, so he does everything from getting the plumbing on in the spring to, you know, fixing equipment, building new equipment when we have cool ideas for him, and then even, you know, just taking care of like the mowing of the grass and all that stuff. So Mike does a lot at camp. Very grateful for him. And he's been here since 2014, so also quite a long time.
I just really want to say that I'm proud of all of our team and the endless giving that these 5 other individuals give to our campers with lots of creativity and a lot of dedication. Our summer goals for all of you definitely is caring for the well-being of each and every camper. You know, we want everyone to feel safe. We want children to feel included. We want everyone in the sense that you've registered your kids, they're invited to the party, they're invited to camp to have this experience. And now it's up to all of us and our summer camp staff to dance with them per se, or to really get them involved in everything they're doing at camp. You know, there's so many opportunities at camp, and we want to give those children all those opportunities to grow and to really experience all of the fun that there is at camp. So we have some big goals going into 2023, but we're optimistic with our staff that we can meet those summer goals. We're proud to announce that we have a very large returning staff that are coming back that were here last summer, and also staff that were here 2 years ago. So with that mixture of lots of talent, we are set and ready with all of our hiring. All of our registered nurses are returning. All of our camper coordinators, who I'll be talking about a little bit later, will all be with us this summer. Everyone has experience, and we are set to go. One of the things that many parents have anxiety about is the transportation with camp. We have 3 modes that our campers arrive at camp. Some are brought by car, some are brought by bus, and some will be flying and then taking the bus into camp. We're anticipating and hoping that all of our transportation will go as scheduled this summer, but it's extremely important that you fill out that transportation form so that we know exactly when and where and that we're meeting your campers. What we do as soon as all of those buses arrive at Foley, we do email all the parents to let you know that they have and your children have arrived safely at Foley. If you're driving to camp, when you drive in, we will, you'll be parking in the parking lot, coming into camp, and we'll be ready to meet and greet and get your children settled into camp. If you're flying, we do meet the campers right at the gate. We help them gather their luggage. We take them to the charter buses and everything to get them on, into camp, and they ride the bus with all of us, with the camp staff to camp. I think that, again, there's a little bit more anxiety with that. Once we meet the children at the Minneapolis airport, we are having the campers call you. In addition to that, we'll be emailing you once those flights have been met. And so we just really, truly try to relieve all of that anxiety with camp. It's hard for our parents, and as a parent of 4 children, I get it. No news is good news, but sometimes you do need to have the patience to allow us to gather the campers and to get them to a place where we can get those phone calls and everything ready for you. Packing. If at all possible, we strongly suggest that you have your campers pack. It's very empowering for them to start organizing all their clothes. It's a lot of excitement. I remember with my own children going to camp. It's really interesting how they like to lay out and put everything, organize everything like that. And so I think it's nice that they can do that. If you're a new parent and you see that word Alpha Games is a final all camp activity. And if your camper is new to camp, they don't know what team they're on. And so it's really kind of fun for them to bring a shirt that's red, a shirt that's yellow, a shirt that's blue, and one that's green. Just some old t-shirts would be great, or even a bandana or something. There's a special ceremony there's a special ceremony where they will all be assigned to their teams. If you're a returning camper, they will be on the same team as they were on last year or the year before, and that is their team for their whole duration that they're at camp. One of the things we started last year was ship camps, and it's actually sometimes extremely cost effective when you pay for baggage on the airlines. And what's nice about that is that the luggage gets shipped directly to camp. We haul it up to the cabin. It's sitting by the camper's bunk. And there's also that service where it's just shipped directly back, and they come into camp and they pick up all of that luggage. It's a great service for some of our parents who are traveling and not going directly home to get the luggage back and forth to camp. One of the things that we are really trying to work even more so, we've always worked with it, but is the camper's well-being. And well-being, how we're using it Foley, is defined as a person's physical, social, emotional, and spiritual health. And all of these things are very important because we want campers to have the feeling that they're safe, they're supported, and they're engaged. How can you help us to gather all of this information? You have several things. You've completed the application. The information on that application form is given to our staff as a need to know information. especially if you have put information about them being a first-time camper, may experience a little bit of homesickness, etc. On the health form is another great place to give us information that we need about the kids. Maybe your child's a sleepwalker, maybe this. But again, that information is given, for example, as a sleepwalker, just to the cabin counselor individual so that we can plan for that camper. A simple plan might just be putting that camper on a bottom bunk, putting that camper near one of the counselors so that we're aware if that camper is waking up at night. Those are little things that we can do to help your camper feel safe and supported while they're at Foley. Another form that's now up and ready for you to fill out in your portal is the camper information form. There you can kind of say things that the staff can read. What are some of the things your child likes? What are some of the goals they have? What are the concerns? How does your camper react if things aren't going well? So there's a couple things that they can do in that capacity there. Again, I'm very open. If you have concerns that you want to visit with me about, want to know how we would handle something, please contact me. My email is at the bottom, or you can always call the camp office, email, and I'll find a time to talk to you about your specific concerns. The physical well-being at camp is something that is always a big concern. All of our registered nurses are returning this year. And I think the things that we have learned over the past few summers is that if a child is feverish, coughing, sneezing, uncontrollable, not feeling well where they can't participate in their activities, we're just really taking the time to assess that child in our health center. We're also asking that you send your children to camp healthy. It's a little different than living at home in the sense that we're living in a community. There's several children in the cabin. And of course, every parent wants their child to be healthy. With the physical well-being, we are going to continue to do our daily health checks. We have found that this has really decreased things like pink eye. Last summer, we had someone who had pink eye, and by doing those daily health checks by the counselors, the nurse was able to look at the child, catch up with the child, get the child the medication, and we did not get the pink eye spreading throughout our cabins. So again, those daily health checks where the counselor is just asking the kids, writing down if they're sneezing, aches and pains, lots of mosquito bites, rashes, all of those kinds of things are written down, and then the nurse can go back and visit individually with the camper. If it's something we do have to establish a care plan, like the child needs to run into the doctor for a strep throat test as an example, we will notify parents. We try to keep the best communication system that we can via calling them, emailing, all of those other things. Again, if there's kids not feeling well in the cabin, what we're going to be doing is really keeping an eye out with their other cabin mates so that no one else will be getting sick and ill with someone who's not feeling well. And our biggest hope is that all the other cabin mates can continue their daily schedule. We have learned that hand washing, will continue to be diligent about hand washing. And of course, this hasn't changed over all the numerous years of camp, but encouraging children not to share water bottles, towels, brushes, etc., so that we can really keep some of these communicable diseases controlled. And then I'm sure that everybody's asking about COVID. I'm sure you're as weary about it as I am and all of us, but we are not asking our parents to test before the children come to camp. We are doing no all camp testing. What we're going to be doing is following the rule that if the nurse determines that a COVID test would be beneficial in treating the camper, we would be contacting the parents and getting permission to give that child that test. Similar, if the nurse feels it would be beneficial for a camper to be seen by a doctor for a respiratory infection, we would contact the parents and take that child to the doctor. In the case that we do have a positive test in camp, the camper will remain isolated in the health center. The other campers in the cabins will not be tested for COVID. No one will be tested who's asymptomatic. Staff will not be tested. As soon as the camper symptoms have subsided, they're not coughing, sneezing, whatever it might be, they feel up to going back into the camp community and they get a negative test, they'll be able to continue to go right away into the normal activity. We've talked with some doctors and some other healthcare professionals, and we feel that this will best serve our camp population in the sense of, like many schools, if a child's feverish, they stay home until they are off medication for 24 hours and not running a fever. With cabin groups, if someone does test positive for COVID, we will not be testing the cabin group, but we'll monitor them a little bit closer because we want to make sure that if something is going through the cabins, that we can catch that as quickly as possible. I think that with all of this, our parents are on many different spectrums, as are many people with everything with COVID. And we really truly invite you, if you do have questions, to ask those questions, give us a call. We would be happy to go in more detail on some of our different things that we have come up with in regards to working with COVID. Another big important part is the social and emotional well-being. Many of you may not even know, but over numerous years, we have a group of parents, teachers, people that come in to be a camper coordinator. And a camper coordinator is someone who listens to the kids, advocates for the campers, and is there for anyone who needs a little extra help to make camp successful for them. On this call tonight, we do have many of our camper coordinators who have joined us and who will be working with your children this summer. What will happen is that if we have someone who's a little bit homesick, it's a perfect way that camper coordinator doesn't have other responsibilities at Foley and can work directly with that camper. They can set up plans in camp. They can help campers who are anxious about weather. Maybe making friends is a challenge for a camper, and the camper coordinator can help them in working with how and what skills to use to make friends. They work with behavior concerns, and they're also a person who will help other campers, if necessary, to connect to any teletherapy that they're going to continue while they're here at Foley. It works well. They can join campers at activities. If they're a little fearful of an activity, they can go down and help with swim lessons, all sorts of different things that they do. And so any notes that I hear in the wintertime, I pass on to our camper coordinators. Okay. Everybody always talks about food at Foley. And we're happy to announce that David, who has cooked for us for the last couple summers, is returning. We're excited to have him. Our first food truck came in today for our May program with over $2,000 worth of food. So we're up and going with all of those things that the children will like. We are trying, we do take a camper survey input, and kids have commented on some of their favorite meals at camp. And they also have commented on some meals that they would like to see change. And so we're working on menus to give kids options to keep them healthy, but keep them kid related so that they'll eat for us. balanced, and all of those different things. Kids always ask, are we eating inside, eating outside? And we're doing a combination this summer. So we're going to have lots of fun of putting some meals inside, and on those beautiful summer days, keeping some of our meals outside as well. Communication. Parents love to hear from their campers, and I just wish you would understand how challenging it is for us here at Foley to have these 2 mandatory letters come out to all of you. Some kids love writing letters. Some of our parents get those letters that say, they made me write this letter, and in talking to the parents, they truly understand those letters. But we will have the kids write those letters to you. Mail, emails are handed out every single day. And again, if you as a parent can put, every other day, pop a letter in the mail or send an email, it would be great. Of course, when we talk to the kids, the very best letters are the mail that comes, not the emails, but the ones that come in envelopes. And we have to realize that many of our children do not always get these wonderful things called bail. So they do love that. In addition to that, our parents do get progress reports from their cabin counselors. And I know that these are treasured. In a 3-week session, they get 2, and a 1-week session, they get 1 longer one. And of course that if you have a younger camper in camp, they do get like a quick little note on how the child is doing after the first 2 or 3 days at Foley. If you go to the parent guide, there's more information about the communication and when you hear from Foley, because we know that that's really important for our parents to know that. And so please take a look at that in the parent guide for more information about when we communicate with you, you from camp. And with the camp communication, the types of letters that you send are really important in how you word them. And I think this is a nice chart that kind of says how you can say things, and I love that where it says, have a great time at Camp Sam. I'm so excited for your adventure. If you say that, the child thinks, I should go to camp. My parents will be fine at home without me. But if you say something like, I don't know what I'm going to do without you, sometimes the kids feel a little guilty that you as a parent can't survive without them. And so really think about how you word things and how you talk to your kids before they're getting ready to go to camp. Many of you are excellent with the letters that you send. We have great parents, and just keep up the good work of mailing good letters to the kids and make sure they hear from them. Another great hint is to put a couple letters in the mail prior to when they come to camp, because then with the mail taking like sometimes 3 to 4 to 5 days to get to us, they have those first letters, and they really truly love to have that mail on the first day. Set a picture in there. They like to get a picture in the mail of the family. Dogs, cats, their pets at home are really important to receive pictures of, and some of those little things like that become really important to the kids. Other things that you can help with camp communication is one of the things, if a kid says, if I get homesick, if I don't like camp, will you come pick me up? And probably the worst thing a parent can say is, yes, of course I will. And nobody wants a child to feel uncomfortable. But to be honest, feeling a little bit uncomfortable is normal. And feeling uncomfortable is also a means that we can have a child grow. And if a child is homesick, you will hear from us. We do call if a child cannot participate, if a child's not sleeping, and we make a plan with you, but also realize that the majority of us will feel a little bit uncomfortable, will feel a little bit sad for the first couple days. And that's normal, but to power through that and to have the wonderful support of cabin counselors, of their peers, of our camper coordinators, the directors, is really something that we can work with the campers to be successful. And again, we just really ask for your help with that. And you don't promise that you can write every day, and you want your kids to write you every day. Many campers get so busy at camp with their friends and everything that they don't write. But again, call us into the office. Mary, who answers the phones, really good at saying to Joe, Allie, or I, or the other Allie, you know, can you track down so-and-so and have them write their parents? And we'll get those letters off to you if you haven't heard from your kids. Sometimes kids have to do things while they're at camp or feel they need to. So we've had campers continue tutoring. We've had campers do virtual school from camp. And so if this is where you're at, please just let us know. We can try to set something up for you. We've had kids run while they're at Foley. We've had them practice musical instruments, all sorts of things. And so we're here to support their extracurricular activities and their school schedules as needed. Now you're sitting here as a parent, what can I do now? You can fund their camp store. You can go onto your thing and do that. You can complete the camper information form, the travel form. If you have an older camper that wants to know more about dishwashing or signing up for a 3-day canoe trip and the 3-week sessions, they can email, reach out to Joe. We'll be glad to help them with some of the things that they would like to do. It's really important in this 2 to 4 weeks prior of camp is to make sure that you get your health forms completed. We know that they're kind of lengthy. They ask a lot of details about diet. They'll ask if they're on a gluten-free diet. They'll ask if they're, they don't eat red meat. They'll ask about any over-the-counter medications that you don't want your child to take. We do need the vaccinations completed as well on that. Again, keep in mind that it's a community that we're living in. It's community living. And sometimes, the Minnesota Health Department is on us to make sure that we're aware if kids are vaccinated or if they have completed an exemption form. And so we really do need to get all of that completed. Being diligent about the medications and the dosages that you want your children to take is also important. Our nurses do go through all of those prior to the kids coming. We run many different reports to make the nurse efficient at her job. And so getting those into the office, no later than 2 weeks before camp really helps us in preparing for the physical well-being of our camp community. We've kind of been starting to talk a little bit about a camp-ready camper and, just to really empower your campers to be getting ready for camp and organizing their things. Have a conversation. On the website under the parent guide, there's some suggestions about working with your camper to advocate for themselves. Who to go to, who to talk about, what to do if you're all those little things. And I think it's important that our campers start realizing that we're here to support them, but just to think if your child can grow in advocating for themselves while they're here at Foley, it would be a great life skill that we can be working on giving their kids. There's some information about cabin living. There's information about the camp community, all those things that might help children, especially if that child's a little bit of anxious or a first-time camper, to kind of know what they're coming into and what they're doing. Also, not only do we want a camp-ready camper, we want a camp-ready parent. And you're doing that by showing up today to visit with us a little bit for a short period of time to get your questions answered and everything like that. Again, we keep stressing that we're here to talk to anyone. Again, if you need to have a private conversation with me, or you need to have a camper well-being plan while they're here at Foley, please give us a call. And many times sometimes the work that we do ahead of time can really make the camping experience even more powerful for the camper. There's lots of additional information in that camper guide or parent guide. Tips for new families, especially younger kids. You know, what do they need to do? They can get to the swimming pool, get into a lake, practice their swim check. There are tips about, even if it's especially a younger camper, practicing rest period, you know, practicing lights out at night where they can use their flashlight and read a book. And all of those are good, positive things to do with the kids. So when they come to camp, they know that, hey, yeah, I can lay in my bed for 20 minutes and entertain myself and some things like that. Everyone's interested in what it looks like of where they're going to sleep, where they're going to put their clothes. And again, there is some information and pictures to help campers who have not been to Foley on what those cabins look like. Again, the parent guide is a great resource. If there's anything that we can help you with, it's a great resource to go back and read, double check things, whether your child has a birthday at camp, it's in there, all the things. Can we send packages? And the answer is no, but what happens if I forget something? You know, the child forgets something to come to camp. Of course you can send that. You know, you just send it to Mary, send it to Camp Foley, mark it's a life jacket, mark that it's a pair of reading glasses that they forgot. And we get those items opened and we get those to the kids as fast as we possibly can so they have the items that they need. So the parent guide has lots of information like that with that. And I think at this time, we're going to open it up to questions. And I don't know if Joe and Allie have some bigger questions that many people ask that we should answer.
Yes, Marie, could you, there's been a couple questions about airport travel. Could you clarify how, like, when the campers get off the plane or when they're going to get on a plane, how a counselor will meet them so they don't get lost in the airport?
Yes, our staff supervise the campers the entire time that they're at the airport. En route, they meet the camper at the gate. They walk with the campers to get their luggage. And then from getting their luggage, they will walk the camper to the bus. And so they're with our staff 100% of the time. When they're going back to the airport, the same thing will happen, is that they'll take the bus with our camp staff down to the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport. They will check in their baggage with the staff. They will be with the staff, and the staff will go to the gate and wait at the gate until the plane takes off. And in addition to that, even after the plane takes off, they're monitoring to make sure the planes, for some reason, don't circle back and land again.
Perfect, thank you.
I have a question. What are some good activities for rest time?
Good activities, good. That's a great question. I talked about that. At rest period, the children are on their own beds for 20 minutes to a half hour, and it's kind of personal time. What some of the kids will do, we'll see everything from, using, coloring with colored pencils, to making friendship bracelets, to beading, to reading stories, reading books, playing cards, playing any games that, not electronic games, but any, mind games or any types of little games that they can read. I saw a question pop up, are there books at camp? We do have a library. And so kids are able to take books out of the library. The staff also have books and games and things in the cabins that they can look at and do as well. Some kids will sleep as well and take a little bit of a nap during rest period. Does that answer your question? Did you find something you might like to do? Good. Any other questions from all of you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Life jackets. I'm sure this is on the packing list, but should we plan on sending our own life jacket or are there camp ones?
Many of the campers bring their own life jackets, and you can also rent one reasonably. Mary's at $5 to $10. You're muted, but they can. Many campers bring their $15 if you want to rent one if you're having challenges with the packing. But all the life jackets that we rent at Foley are the ones the kids, we will assign one to a camper and we get it adjusted so that the life jacket fits properly for that camper. We feel real strongly that the children jump into the water with their life jackets on and we test them so they're not popping out of their life jackets with all of their activities. And so either way, we'll make sure the life jacket fits securely on the camper. Any other questions that you may have?
Hi, Marie. It's Kelly Bersaska.
Hi, Kelly.
It's good to see you. Declan is really excited about the idea of doing the 3-day canoe trip. Could you tell me a little bit about that and if we need to pack anything extra or prepare in any way for that?
Yes, Joe is the one that's working with the canoe trips, and I would love for Joe to answer that question.
Great, thanks. Hey, Joe.
Hey, how are you? Well, first of all, awesome that Declan wants to do the canoe trips. They're very fun. So I have a small list going of kids who are interested in doing it, so I'll add them to the list. But as far as packing, there's nothing extra, I guess, that he really needs. It's good to have a great pair of water shoes, which I'm sure he would bring to camp anyways. But other than that, we'll supply all the stuff that they would need on the trip, like tents and whatnot like that. Of course, like he'd bring a sleeping bag to camp anyways. So yeah, I guess nothing else really to pack. I would just say they're a lot of fun. And for everyone, so we do 3-day canoe trips. So the kids learn how to like pack up the bags so that everything stays nice and dry, and they learn about like pitching tents and using different tools at campsites and setting up the tents and cooking their own food over the fire, and they get to sleep out in the woods for a couple nights. So it's a really great adventure. So I'm glad that Declan is excited. And if anyone else has some interest in the canoe trips, you can always send me an email. Unfortunately, we're only offering them during the 3-week sessions this year. It just gets a little tough in the 2 weeks. So.
And he's doing the 5 weeks, so he's okay, right?
Oh
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He's basically moving in with you guys this summer.
Yeah.
So enjoy our child. Thanks so much, Joe. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome.
Great. And you can keep sending questions in the chat too, you guys. Really, you're doing well.
Any other questions that we have?
Yes, Murray. This is Megan and Bridget from Colorado. And we were wondering about the shipping of the bags in advance. Is that new, or can you share the success on that?
It is our second year of doing it. The parents that utilized it last year, it was a positive experience for them. And so it's really, it's a nice service. There's more information on the website, either from the link of packing and the other link. It does eliminate all of the luggage at the airport for parents. And so it's a nice service that comes directly right to your door. I believe they pick it up right from your door as well. And then they ship it right here to Foley.
Okay, thank you. And then do you ship back?
Yes. There's labels and everything that we put on the luggage, help the campers to do all that. And then they just come and pick it up here at Foley and it gets shipped back.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anyone else have any questions?
Someone asked a good question about international campers, like them receiving letters at camp. And would you like to
Sure.
answer that one?
With our international campers, we do have them write letters and then we scan them and we email them to their parents. If we have parents who are traveling internationally while their kids are at camp or not at their home addresses, we also will extend this to the few of you that might fall into that bracket as well. Mail is very slow to and from foreign countries, and I think if our campers mailed their letters, they probably would get home way before the mail would actually get to them. So we do that. Also, parents, all the letters that our staff will be writing, those notes will be emailed to you. So it's really important that you're checking your emails. As Mary mentioned in her introduction, a lot of emails will be going out to all of you and a lot of updates also will be going out to all of you. So it is important to do that. Someone quickly asked if they could drop letters off to Mary when they drop their kids off. Give them to Mary, give them to any of the counselors. We'll make sure that they get into the camp office. One way of getting mail. If some of you are traveling, again, there's parents who will mail several letters to Mary in a packet, and Mary will do a really good job of putting one in the mail every other day if that's your directions, and get them out to the kids too. Again, the mail is important and we try our hardest to work with our parents on how to get that mail to everyone. You can email your kids through CampMinder, but the children cannot email you back, but you can email them, which is a great help for some of you who are traveling. And one of my last thoughts for all the parents is that we actually have more homesick parents than we do homesick campers. And instead of you sitting there at home, you can call Mary, and Mary can definitely give you an update on what activities your kids are taking. And also our staff turn in quick little notes on how the kids did and their highs or lows of the day, their friendships and things like that. And she would be happy to tell you about that. She'll keep confidential between parents. So you can also call and tell us, not to tell your husband or your wife that you called, and many kids will do that. We'll hear from both of them on the same day. So again, it's one way that we can partner with you, because we'd rather hear from you and get your anxiety met as parents than not hear and not have you just nervous the whole time that they're at camp. So that is something we can do to help you out as well.
I want to go back to camp. I wish there was an adult camp we could go to. So, but apparently you guys, I guess you have the age cutoff.
Yes, the only thing I tell some of our alumni like Herbie that he would like to go back to camp is join us on our 100th anniversary in August of 2024, because we are having a long weekend, so our parents can come and join us on that weekend. And who knows, maybe after 100 years, maybe that will be the time that we'll start a family camp. And we've talked about it, but we'll just still have to progress forward and see what's going to happen after the 100th anniversary.
And I will throw the link into the 100th year anniversary if you guys want any more information or want to register for it. You definitely can. People have started doing that.
I see we're getting some votes for family camp too. Any other questions? Well, we'll officially end. If you have questions, please stay online. We're here to answer those questions. But again, I just think that you're wonderful parents. One of the things that always brings smiles to my face is how great of parents we have and how dedicated you are to your children and how you are doing this as an opportunity for your kids. You see the value in camp as all of our parents do, and it's tremendous. So thank you, and we just think our parents are wonderful. So we really appreciate you taking the time to join us this evening. Great to see some of our camper faces too as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everyone. And we'll see you or hear from you this summer, we hope. And those of you that have questions, please stay online and we'll continue to answer questions.
We also will, we have a recording of this and we'll send the PowerPoint out. Hopefully by the end of the week, we'll get it to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.